Okay, good afternoon, students. Today we will be discussing about the treatment of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Okay, so before that, let us just revise again to the topic. So heat exhaustion means what? In heat exhaustion, you can find that they are treatable. You can say means it can be treated by yourself also. But what happens in this heat exhaustion? Heat exhaustion, you will find that you will have muscle cramps. Okay, means your muscle will pain, it will ache. Next is what heavy sweating. The person will sweat too much. Next is what the person will feel cold. The person's skin will become pale, and the person's skin might become moist also. Okay, moist means what means it won't be dry. It will be a bit wet, you can say. Next is fatigue, means weakness. Next is intense thirst. Intense thirst means what the person will feel too much thirsty. Next is nausea. Nausea means uh, urge to vomit. Okay, the person might feel like vomiting. Next is headache. The person will have headache. The person head will pain. Next is confusion. The person will be confused what to do, what not to do. Next is what dizziness means the person can move around. Next is what fast, shallow breathing means the person will breathe in too deeply. Okay, the person will breathe in too deeply. So these are the symptoms which you will find in heat exhaustion. Next is heat stroke. So in the heat stroke, what happens? In the heat stroke, the person will feel nausea. Nausea means a feeling of vomiting, as well as the person will vomit. Next is the person skin will be hot, okay, as well as it will be dry also. Both things, hot plus dry. Then the person will have profuse sweating. Okay, profuse sweating means what? Means in extreme, in abundance, too much, too much of sweating. Next is loss of consciousness. Okay, the person will lose his conscious also. Next is very high body temperature. The person's body temperature will become very high. Okay, next is dropping headache. Dropping headache means the intensity or the the person head will pain too much that the person will be even able to feel the rhythm. Okay, the beat in the head. Next is confusion. The person will be confused. And next is difficulty speaking. Means the person will find difficulty in speaking. Next is hallucinations. Hallucinations means what means uh, which the person can see but others can't see. Only that person will be able to see. So that one is known as hallucinations. Then next is strange behavior. The person will behave very strangely, very awkwardly. Next is seizure, means the person whole body will shake from head to toe. Okay, is it clear about heat exhaustion and heat stroke? Is it clear? Is it clear or not? Yes, students, is it clear or not?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Next is treatment. So, what can you do if the person is suffering from heat exhaustion? Okay, means what can you do? What precautions can you take? What are the steps that you can do? So the first one is what sipping cold water or an electrolyte drink means you can ask the person to drink cold water. Okay, you can ask the person to drink cold water or else electrolyte drink. Electrolyte drink like what ORS. Okay, in ORS, electrolyte drinks are there. Next is what loosening or removing excess clothing means you will have to lose the person's cloth. Okay, if it is too tight or else if the person is wearing too much of clothes and if the person is feeling hot, what will you do? You will have to loosen. You'll have to loosen the person's clothing. And if the person is feeling too hot, then you can even open, but you will have to maintain the person's privacy also. You have to look for that also. Next is what lying down and trying to relax means you have to make the person lie down. Okay, you have to make the person lie down and just relax. Means the person won't do any like physical activities. You can say means you'll have to just lay him down. Next is what taking a cold bath or shower means you'll have to bathe the person with cold water, cool bath you can say. Then next is what placing a cold wet cloth on the forehead means you have to place wet cloth. So you have to place a wet cloth in the forehead, this in this area. Okay. Next is not resuming activity unless symptoms have gone away. Means unless and until the symptoms are not gone from the person, what you will have to do, you will have to wait it. Okay, you'll have to wait the person so that the person will gain his conscious again. Okay. Next is what placing ice packs or compress under the arms and groin means you'll have to place some ice packs. Okay, in which part? Arms, in this both arms, armpits also you can say. So under the arms you'll have to place the this ice packs as well as groin. Groin is this area, these two parts. I'll show you in the next slide. This under the arm, these two both and groin. This is the groin area. So in these four parts, you'll have to place some ice packs. And also you can place it here in both sides in your neck area. So you'll have to place the ice packs in all these areas. Is it clear? And next is what using a fan to cool the skin. Means you'll have to on some fan so that the person can have like a sufficient amount of air. Means whatever like he needs, you'll have to give it by using the fan with the help of fan. Is it clear about heat exhaustion? How you have to treat it? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Next is heat stroke. So if the person is having heat stroke, what are the precautions that you'll have to take? So first thing, what you'll have to do, moving to a cool, shaded, well-ventilated area. Means you'll have to take the person in a cold area, cool area. Okay, means a bit cold area, which is well ventilated. When well ventilated means what means where the person can get like a sufficient amount of air. So you'll have to take the person there. Next is what laying down. The person will have to lay down. Next is loosening or removing excess clothing. So same thing, like the person will have mm, to move the excess clothing. Okay, means whatever extra clothes the person was wearing, like you can remove it. Next is calling emergency treatment or seeking medical attention. Means if it is too much severe, what you will have to do, you can call the medical team also. Next is what? Not eating or drinking anything unless fully conscious. Means unless and until the person won't be all right. Okay, means unless and until the person won't be all right, means coming to full conscious. So what you'll have to do, you won't allow the person like to do anything. Plus neither eating nor drinking. Means you won't give the person anything. Next is what? Taking a cold shower or bath. So you'll have to make the person bath with cold shower, okay, cold water. Next is what? Using cold wet clothes on the skin. So you can apply some cold or else wet cloths on the skin area. Okay, it means you can apply here under the arms as groin as well as the neck, and you can apply in the forehead also. Okay, is it clear about heat stroke? Guidelines or else you can say precautions to be taken while having heat stroke. Is it clear?
Ma'am,
Ah,
notes you have not updated in portal.
yes, I will update it. Maybe by the after tomorrow. Okay.
Ma'am, these all are from means one chapter only.
Yes, it comes under this one temperature.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay, is it clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is risk factors. So, what are the risk factors which you can find in hyperthermia? So, what are the risk factors which you find? The first one is during physical exertion or exercise. Okay, means if you do some physical activities or like anything like in a hot place, you can say in a warm place. So at that time the person can have hyperthermia. Next is what? During exercise. So it's the same thing. During exercise, what happens? Your blood pressure they raised up. Okay, they raised up in order to get more oxygen. In order to get more oxygen, your heart also it becomes fast, means it becomes rapid. Okay, so for that, what happens? At that time, your body temperature, it won't become stable. Okay, so for that, the person can have hypothermia. The person will feel too much hot, we can say. So for that, the person temperature also it will fluctuate. Understand? And next is what? So next is also the same thing. Like if the person is too much in the warm weather or else in the hot weather, what happens? The body temperature they raise up. Okay, they will raise up because of the overheating in that area, in that particular area. the person can have hyperthermia. And next is what if the person have immune conditions, okay, like in elderly people you can say, so at that time the person can have hyperthermia. Okay. Next is heart conditions, means if the person is having some heart problem, you can say cardiovascular system problem, so at the time the person can have hyperthermia. Next is because of blood pressure. Blood pressure means the heart is not functioning properly, you can say. At that time, what happens? At that time, the person can have hyperthermia. Next is what? Next is if the person have some disorder in her lung, kidney, liver. So in all these cases, the person can have hyperthermia. Next is what? Dehydration. If a person having like too much of dehydration, too much you can say losing of fluid from the body, then the person can have hyperthermia. Next is heart conditions. So same thing. If the person will have heart problem, so this is the repetition. Okay, don't get confused. So next is metabolic conditions. So like if the person have some metabolism problem, so at that time also like the person can have hypothermia. Next is what? Diabetes. So if the person will have diabetes, so at the time also the person can have hypothermia. Then sweat glands or sweating condition. So if the person will sweat too much, means the sweat glands is not like normal, you can say. So at the time also the person can have hypothermia. Next is obesity. So the person can have hyperthermia because of this obesity also. Obesity means what? Obesity means uh, gaining of weight. If the person like is too much fat, you can say, at that time the person can have hyperthermia. Next is excessive alcohol intake. If the person drinks too much of alcohol, if the person consumes too much of alcohol, then the person can have hyperthermia. Next is smoking. Okay, because of smoking, and next is being underweight. So the same thing, underweight and obesity. Is it clear?
Ma'am.
Okay. Next is what means activities that carry the greatest risk for hyperthermia means if you do all these physical activities, okay, means what to say, if you work too much, which is beyond your capacity, you can say. If you work too much, what happens? You start feeling hot. Your temperature also it raises up. It's not it. So at the time what happens? If you do some physical activities like what all this football, cricket, marathon, hiking, biking. So if you do all these things, what happens? You are at the risk of having hypothermia beyond your capacity. You can say this is beyond your capacity. If you do all those things, if you do all these activities, then you are at the risk of having hypothermia. Okay, so this is an example you can say. This is the clinical thermometer. So in this clinical thermometer, you can see the difference between hypothermia. This is hypothermia. Okay, when the temperature they they decrease, it's not it. They decrease, it is known as hypothermia when it becomes low. So here, and this is the normal range, means normal body temperature, this one, and from here it starts pyrexia, yeah, from 100, from 100. Then hyperthermia here, it usually starts from 103. So here, this one, and if it goes on and on, if the temperature raises too much, what happens? It might lead to death also. Okay, is it clear, everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for now, I have completed this topic. Is it clear, everyone? Starting from straight here, normal body temperature, then all this oral temperature, all this. Is it clear? Okay, what is the normal body temperature then? If it is clear. Aikmen Shisha. Aikmen Shisha. Can you hear me? Aikmen Shisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me? Yes.
Thir- 37 degrees Celsius.
Can you say it in Fahrenheit?
Hmm.
Huh?
So,
Yes, Aikmen Shisha. Can you say it in Fahrenheit?
hmm.
No.
No, ma'am.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you say.
97.8 degree Fahrenheit.
Will you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, don't forget, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Ankit Burman. Ankita Burman. Can you hear me, Ankita? Ankita Burman, can you hear me? Vikash Rabha, Vikash Rabha, can you hear me? Vikash Rabha, Githarta Sharma, Githarta Sharma.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Githarta, can you tell me, in hypothermia, what happens? Body temperature increases or rises up? Yes. Body temperature increases or raises up? Hypothermia. Yes. Can you say this, Githarta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hypothermia means what you say now? Yes. Say now. Hypothermia means what? When your body temperature is reduced. It's not it. जब बॉडी टेम्परेचर कम हो जाता है उसी वक्त हम लोग को हाइपोथर्मिया बोलते हैं, ठीक है? तो हाइपोथर्मिया like from when it starts below 95. Okay, normal is what? Like from starts from 97 you can say. Okay, so during this hypothermia what will happen? Hypothermia, the temperature will fall down. Okay, it will decrease. So it will be below 95 degree Fahrenheit. Understand, Githarta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, don't get confused. Okay, today I'll end till here. In the next class, I'll discuss about the other topic. Okay, that is blood pressure. I will discuss with blood pressure in the next class. Is it
Okay,
clear?
ma'am.
Is it clear now, everyone, about temperature, hypothermia,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
hypothermia?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.